Welcome to Anime Out of Context, a comedy review show hosted by a basement dweller who grew up scrounging terrible fan subs on sketchy websites prior to the convenience of modern streaming, alongside a willfully ignorant soul whose only knowledge of anime comes from the shows forced upon him here. This show will contain spoilers, incorrect information, and copious amounts of adult language. Our hosts are not experts on any topic, and everything they say should be taken with a grain of salt. Thank you for listening, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Anime Out of Context, the show where I attempt to explain the sometimes weird, sometimes wonderful, but always hilarious world of anime.
And I'm just counting down the days till it's Halloween.
I'm Shaun Rollins.
I'm Remington Chase.
And Remington, you are right. Halloween.
It's spooky season. It's. I think our last episode also went up in October. But no, our last one definitely did. I think we're halfway through Halloween.
Fuck.
October.
Oh no, I did it again. Fuck! Our buffer screwed me. Oh no. Do I pivot to something more spooky?
Okay, yeah. It is currently halfway through October.
Son of a bitch. Oh no. God damn it. We're so prepared for the podcast that I completely spaced the fact that, like, for us, it's still September.
To give an idea, we're not to October yet. Actually.
Yeah, no, we tried to really front load it because we know October's our busiest month, and because of that, I was just like, okay, normal schedule, normal speed. I forgot to do something well, okay, you know what? I can spin it. Mwahaha, Remington! It's a spooky episode!
Hey, Yugs! Blah, blah, blah!
Yeah, this isn't our proper Halloween episode, Rem, but it is proper spooky, and I have plenty of reasons as to why this is a spooky episode, Rem.
Oh yeah, I'm sure this week and the next week they'll be super spooky. Hey, at least you have a few episodes to prepare. It's still 2 weeks until our proper Halloween special, so at least you can prepare for that, Shaun.
Is it 2 weeks? Oh, do I have 2 weeks?
Yeah, so it's not this one or next one, but the one after that.
Okay, thank fuck. Okay, so I don't have to go as hard on the spooky stuff, but it'll still be a little spooky. It's a month of spookiness. We gotta have some spook stuff going on.
All right, just tell me the awful anime you're gonna subject me to.
Well, see, that's the thing, Rem. I'm not like a lot of times when it comes to spooky season, I like to show you something that is either genuinely horror or horror to you or myself personally. Because, you know, that's kind of what people come for. And I am kind of splitting the difference a little bit on that.
Okay.
Because, Rem, there's one thing that scares me and you more than any thing we've ever covered. And that's angry fangirls.
Yep, all right. Fair enough.
We've pissed off a lot of fangirls and fanboys and fan non-binaries alike. Like, the whole spectrum. We've pissed a lot of people off, essentially.
Yeah.
And there are some shows that I've hesitated on covering due to the fact that I'm worried about the repercussions, as it were.
Ah, the repercussions.
Yes, the repercussions. The implications of those repercussions. And today, Rem, I have a very special show, that was actually kind of brought to my attention after we covered another very popular show from the same time period.
Okay.
It made you very upset, Rem. Remember when we talked about Vampire Night?
Okay. Yeah, going recent.
Very recent. Because we got a handful of emails that were like, hey, you showed him Vampire Night, but what about this other show from that time period that was equally as popular and most people considered to be much better? And
God
I'm like,
damn it.
And I'm like, you know what? That's a fair point. I'm going to quickly research this and see what I think of it. And honestly, Rem, now that I've watched it, I think you need to see it yourself. Because...
Nope, don't know if I agree.
I do, Rem. Because because the anime we're going to be talking about today, Rem, is known simply as Kuroshitsuji.
Okay.
Does that ring any bells for you?
No?
No? Well... it should, and when I tell you the English name, it probably will hit you hard. Because the English title of the anime we're covering is simply called Black Butler.
Okay, this is one that this has been like super requested.
Oh, yeah. And ever since we did the Vampire Knight one, those requests have just kind of ticked up. And I'm like, you know what? Now's the time.
I don't like that. Look, I'm gonna say it, all right?
Okay.
My concern is we're gonna have something vampiric or vampire adjacent.
Okay.
And let's face it, anime vampires are trash. All right? It's just how it goes. Quick, Shaun, name one high quality anime vampire.
Depends on what you mean by high quality, Rem.
No, I think we both know what I mean, and I think we both know nothing fit in that description. At least not that I've seen.
Well, I'm sure we'll get a lot of. Hey, if you think, send us great anime vampires. Just send those to us. We'll see. We've got an email, animeoutofcontext@gmail.com. Just send, like, once people sent us in great maids, send us great vampires. That's your new.
Let me put it this way, Shaun.
Magic.
Without looking at the list, I pulled up the 10 best vampire anime of all time. And the only reason I pulled it up, because number 10, it had Vampire Knight. So, I think it's safe to say, if that's making people's top fucking 10s, like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's not looking it's not looking great, is it? I will also say I pulled up Vampire Anime on Mal, and one of the top ones was Rosario Vampire. So really, we are in we're in dangerous territory. But I will say, Rem, this is not a vampire anime.
Okay. Oh, is it vampire adjacent?
Well,
yeah, there we are.
I mean, vampires, demons, are they really like close at all?
Yeah. Yep. I'll be honest. For a lot of different interpretations, they are identical.
Hot, dark, evil, slightly malicious.
No, that's possibly superpowered in either every way or random ways.
Yeah. At least with a demon, it's more like there's less like concrete lore on them. Like, or more varied lore, I should say.
Yeah.
Whereas with vampires, it's like, this is a vampire who can light his blood on fire. It's like...
All right, well, tell me about Black Butler and why I should not assume that it's hot trash.
Okay. The first reason you should assume it's not hot trash, Rem, is due to the fact that this one is, I would say, way more popular than Vampire Knight, especially back in my junior high days. Was never invited to a cosplay group for this one. And I definitely never considered it, because everybody and their mother was like, hey, a little bit of Black Butler, a little bit of Kuroshitsuji. You want to watch some of that? But I will say, there have been some amazing cosplays from this show, including like some amazing like Victorian England style ball gowns and such, which I thought was very fun to see when I was at conventions and such. Character design is much better than Vampire Knight, I will say. It's a low bar.
Yep.
But it's a bar that it definitely clears.
Okay.
Let's see, what else is there? Ooh, man. It's got a hot demon. It's got a hot demon.
Oh, I'm fucked. I'm gonna die here.
I don't know about that. How about I just give you an idea of what the story's about, rather than trying to list the reasons why it's not hot garbage. Because you don't know if it's hot garbage. It could actually be surprisingly subversive.
Perhaps.
Okay. So, as I alluded to, this anime takes place in Victorian England.
Okay.
All right, and it is about our main character, CL Phantom Hive. Yep. And he is regularly referred to as the Queen's Guard Dog. He is a young noble who is constantly hired to help deal with strange events that are going on throughout Victorian England, essentially. And him and his butler work tirelessly together to solve whatever dark, twisted problems are plaguing the streets of old London.
Okay.
And CL, very interestingly enough, lost his parents tragically at a young age.
Oh, I'm astonished!
And in the wake of that tragedy, he commits a dark sin, sacrificing his brother, putting him into a suit of armor. No, wait, sorry, wrong script. Summoning a powerful demon in exchange for his everlasting soul and whatnot. And that demon is simply known as Sebastian Michaelis. And Sebastian is a super powerful demon butler, serving CL ever faithfully until the day when he claims his soul. And that is the basic synopsis, my guy. It's about CL and Sebastian going around solving dark mysteries and It's dark and there are a lot of sexy characters.
All right, I hate this already.
Look, man, I want to sell this to you as a good thing.
Do I Here's the question, John.
Yes.
Do I even need to watch the anime though?
Yes, Rem, you do.
I feel like I could just review it now, or even better, right? We have an editor. He can just go through a couple past episodes. I can pull out like 5 to 10 for him. He can pull out some words that I've said about them, and we can just throw them in here.
You want to give the poor boy even more work than he already does for us?
I'm saying it would be a comparable end product.
Oh, but Rem, the biggest difference here is
okay.
The biggest difference is the sheer quantity of people that enjoy this one compared to the amount that enjoy Vampire Knight is staggeringly different.
They're horny and nostalgic. I get it. All right. Have I left anything out?
Have you left anything out? Well, there's a large overarching story that is, I'm gonna say, not as stupid as Vampire Knight. And I mean, hey, it's kind of interesting, like demons making bad choices, like psychotic characters, murders, Victorian. You love Victorian England as like a setting.
Oh boy, do I.
I will say, Rem, like, just for frame of reference, I won't tell you the mouse score specifically, obviously. But this has 250,000 more ratings than Vampire Knight did. So this is substantially more beloved, and
good God.
That's kind of why we got to cover it. We got enough requests for it, and like, it's spooky month, and what's spookier than Victorian England? Lots of bad shit happened in Victorian England. If you know your English history, you know what I'm talking about. And not to mention, it's good cannon fodder for very dark, edgy, sexy anime. So, without further ado, let's jump straight into it. Let's go watch some Black Butler. You just hung up on my ass.
All right, I'm back. Now to drink water, now to survive.
Yep, no, God. They're gonna notice such a shocking difference in our overall performance and tonality in this part.
We're so fucked up.
Because, like, even just hearing my voice right now, like, through my headphones and whatnot, it's like, this boy's a bit fucked. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back after watching 5 whole episodes of Kuroshitsuji or Black Butler. And Rem, there are gonna be some people that are gonna hate your guts.
Hey, Shaun, we don't know how I feel about it yet. Who knows?
Rem, you don't have to lie to yourself. It's okay.
But before we even talk about Black Butler, I just want to say, I love how blatantly exhausted you are because we're stuck in the midst of October.
Yes.
And so we're both like fucked up. We're trying to catch up. It's like
yes. If there's a dramatic difference in the way both of us sound between part 1 and part 2, that's because we recorded this much later than we planned, as well as due to the fact that like our bodies are telling us no right now. But our minds are like, yep, we gotta get that podcasting out. And we're gonna do our best, y'all. We're gonna do our best. But you know what?
So yeah, let's jump into Black Butler. And John?
Yes.
I suppose I should have asked this question in part 1. Seems like a pretty foundational question, if I'm being honest.
Correct.
But I have a question about Black Butler.
What's your question,
that I'm hoping you could explain. Once again, sort of a foundational question. What genre is this show?
Man, that's
just a nice, very straightforward question, seems like it should be an easy one to answer. So I would just like you to tell me right now, what genre is Black Butler?
Wow, well, Rem, according to various sites that I have access to,
I'm genuinely interested what these sites have determined.
Like, for raw genre, people are saying a mixture of action, mystery, and supernatural.
Okay.
And there is a comedy tag in there, but I neglected to say it in that first bit because it didn't seem right. It felt like a mistake.
if anything, there's a few tags missing, Shaun. Because with Black Butler, boy oh boy, it's just about every single genre out there. Does it do any of them well? Well, I think we all know what my answer will be to that. But let's jump into the details, shall we?
Sure thing, Rem.
Let's jump into that fun nitty gritty. So, the show opens up with some exposition about some, like, divine, unholy, some weird contract or wish. Essentially, our main character, how do you pronounce his name?
CL.
CL?
Yeah.
All right, cool. CL, he somehow makes a wish, deal with the devil sort of thing, and he wishes for a really handsome husbando servant. You know, who wouldn't? That's how we met, Shaun.
Yeah.
I was lonely. I met the devil, and I was like, hey, you know what I want? I want just a sexy, weeby, gingy fuck. And boom, now you're in my life.
And I am just slowly prepping you for the day when I finally consume what remains of your soul.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be great.
Just a little bit more tragedy to really add to the flavor.
So this first episode, right?
Okay.
It sets a certain theme that is then very quickly broken. The general idea of this episode, well, first of all, we meet some like incompetent servants immediately who are real zany and wacky. But then that's only when they're on the screen. When they're on the screen, it's very wacky. If they're not on the screen, it's not. It very much feels like they are a part of a different show entirely, I'll be honest. Now, aren't the things they do amusing and a little bit funny? No, still no. I guess the best part was at one point they're chasing a rat, and without explanation, one of them wears a cat suit. I liked that happened without explanation, I suppose.
I mean, how else are you gonna catch a rat, right?
Everything else is bad. But then the main part of episode 1 is you have the butler, Sebastian. Of course, he's a butler. That has to be his name. It's legally mandated. And CL. And they have a guest coming, right? And the guest is asking for financial support from CL, who now is the head of the Phantom Hive family. Can I just say, dumbest fucking name I've ever heard in my goddamn life.
Yep, I've told you it in part 1.
Yep.
And you didn't
It just
process.
really... Yeah, I didn't process it in part 1. It really took them saying it and me reading it some more for me to be like, what the fuck? Just like, I get it. He's an edgy protagonist. Nonetheless, the guest shows up. Oh man, there's a lot of bullshit that I could mention. Not even gonna mention it. It seems so much less relevant now. But the guest is trying to take advantage of CL because CL is just a young child. But Sebastian knows what's up. So the guest gets Jumanji. The guest plays a fucked up game with CL where fucked up things happen, and then those things actually happen to the guest, which had me sort of interested. I was like, ooh, okay. Everything else is sort of shit, but I dig the idea of a little bit of a dark Jumanji. Jumanji meets Saw meets Victorian nonsense. I can vibe with that. We don't get more of that, Shaun.
No, you don't.
No, that's it. That's all we get.
That was it, yeah.
The coolest thing of the entire show only happens episode 1, then it's fucking dropped. At least that's from what I've seen. And they don't seem to be implying that we'll ever see more of that. Which, that fucking blows. So, anyway, they don't kill him, but they just like really fuck him up, and then he limps away with a broken leg. Presumably he's gonna die if he's just limping away into the woods. And he's Italian, so he lets out one final "Mamma mia!" That's not a joke.
Yeah.
That is how he leaves.
Ooh, Tug's collar. Yeah, that's unfortunate, isn't it?
Also, CL's dialogue is some of the worst shit I've ever heard. There's a few quotes, such in this episode, there's, once you've lost something, you never get it back. I hate this shit so much.
I mean, it's true though, Rem. It's true. Don't you just feel it deep in your bones? Except for, whenever you find the thing you lost and you get it back immediately. except for like every time that's happened.
Anyway, so CL, his dialogue is I think there's at least one line that I'm going to call out every single fucking episode that just extra egregious. So that's fun. It's always nice to have the worst dialogue around. And then we end the episode, right? And the sort of end credits, they decide to end it with some chibi animation and also a terrible music choice. Like, often I'll be like, hey, it's a terrible show, but like the opening and the ending credit songs and sequences are pretty decent. No, those are bad too. It does not feel like it is from the same show. It doesn't belong there. You'll like end in this dark, mysterious bullshit, right? And then it'll be generic pop rocky song with some chibi animations, and it's like, what? Oh yeah, really letting the glitter fall on that one, really letting it resonate with you at the very end.
Yeah, look, I would say that, 2008 was a different time, but that was about the same period we got Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, so it's like,
Fuck.
Yeah, it's not, they're not really doing themselves any favors.
All right, so episode 2, we have the rat scene I mentioned earlier. Then we have sort of negotiations happening between CL and a bunch of people we've just met. It's sort of dark and grungy. They're playing pool. All right, and it's establishing like CL is now the head of a toy company, basically, which is one of the reasons why I thought this was the route we were headed. For some reason, it's not. But there's some meaningless negotiations that happens. Attention is brought to one of the characters, so you can tell they're about to be important in a moment. Let's see. Oh, okay, yeah. The character's going to be important in a moment, and by a moment, I mean immediately. So there's a character, Azuro, which we just meet. He kidnaps CL and tries to hold him hostage because CL, for some reason, really cares about the drug problem in England because the Queen has said it's bad. For some reason, CL really cares about the honor of the Queen. I don't know why. It seems like a weird route for his character that doesn't fit with anything else about him. And so because of that, he cares about the drug epidemic in Victorian England.
I mean, to be fair, there was a lot of opium going around there.
Sure.
And I feel like that's a real problem if you want to have, a nice, healthy society. You can't have everybody running around on the opium.
But why does CL give a shit?
Ah, man, he's a Queen's man through and through.
Why? It's so weird. And also, it doesn't add anything. It just feels disparate to anything else about him. Anyway,
I mean,
Azuro, he's a drug dealer.
I feel like that goes the same for a lot of people. Like, nah, I shouldn't make that joke. I'm going to hold back on that. Never mind.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, so Azuro sends some people to kill the servants of CL, but also sends a letter to CL servants. So I guess he just sort of assumed it wouldn't work, maybe? It's like you send them the ransom, but then you also try to kill them, I suppose. One of the assassins aims for Sebastian, and we've seen Sebastian do some crazy ass shit already. So it's like, oh, obviously he's gonna dodge, but he just doesn't. Instead, one of the other servants has to trip into him in an awkward moment. Don't know what they're going for there. Every other time you just have Sebastian be an uber badass. May as well do it here. Not because it's interesting, but at least it's consistent. Then Sebastian, he kills the assassins. He sends their car over a cliff. And it's a good old-timey car, right? It hits the bottom of the cliff and becomes a fucking nuke. The explosion of this car. My God.
These old-timey cars, they were very volatile, Ren.
Fun fact, originally, they were like, what would make good wheels? Just probably TNT. That's just old-time engineering,
You gotta really power a car with nitroglycerin to really give it that extra oomph.
Anyway, Sebastian, he goes, saves CL. It's revealed that Sebastian, he's He's good old demonic butler, as if you couldn't figure it out then. He gets shot in the head, but then he gets up. What a twist. And then Sebastian, he uses one of his lines that you can tell the writers feel so fucking proud of this line. Because you will hear it every time Sebastian either does or is about to do something cool. He'll be like, I am merely one hell of a butler. And like, he doesn't mug the camera in that moment. Like, he doesn't do that look to the camera, but like, he sort of does. Like, every time he says it, you can feel him like turn to the camera and wink at it, right? Just from the vibe. It's so fucking dumb. They're so proud of this line. They feel so good about it.
Let me tell you right now, Rem, that phrase, I'm one hell of a butler, has sparked so many fangirls into a frenzy from my historical experiences. And like,
if it came out now, I feel like not necessarily in the weep community, but everywhere else, it would be memed on because of how dumb it is. And people, like, it'd be like, well, Shaun, you know I'm one hell of a podcast host. And it would be like, haha, it's so fucking dumb. God, this is a bad show. Hey, episode 3. We're already to episode 3.
Wow, you're going through this quick.
Amazingly, I thought I would have to talk about more, but most of it is just much less relevant than it pretended to be. Like, more things happen than I'm saying, but at the same time, not really. Episode 3, there's an incompetent new servant. Then we get a lot of exposition, a ton of exposition. We learn that Ciel's parents died in a fire, and that maybe something mysterious is going on with that. We also meet Lizzie, who is Ciel's betrothed, and likes cute things. She likes things to be cute. That's it. All right. There's some drama that really doesn't matter, and then they dance together. And that's episode 3.
That doesn't seem very complex.
Yeah, no, it's sort of like nothing fucking happened in that episode. Like, it was an exposition episode, but you can't have an entire episode just be exposition. Bad line of episode 3, Ciel, at one point, when Sebastian is teaching him how to dance, you know, getting that queer baiting going on in here, because boy, oh boy, do we. Some might say, hey, queer baiting. Others might say, this is an eternal demon and the other one is a child. That's not okay. But hey.
No, a lot of people say that.
Oh, thank God.
Like, as a rule, no. Most people, like, when it comes to shipping people, it's mostly Sebastian being shipped with a character by the name of Grell.
Oh, yeah, we'll get to Grell.
Yeah, I thought you might.
We'll fucking get to Grell. They're the incompetent servant we just discussed. Oh, weird. Why would they ship Sebastian with an incompetent servant? You'll see. But the show undeniably baits a relationship between Ciel and Sebastian. 1,000,000%. And it is uncomfortable. 1, because of all the reasons listed. Age differentials, not okay. 2, they have zero chemistry even as friends. Like, they, on screen together, it's supposed to feel like, hey, we're both brooding edgelords, but, like, we've got each other even if it's contractual. But there's just nothing there. Anyway, the line, as Sebastian is teaching Ciel how to dance, and he's like, oh, you need to brighten up, you need to be smiling when you're dancing. And Ciel is like, I've forgotten how to smile or have fun. Shut the fuck up! I hate this kid. I want this kid off of my screen. Episode 4. Episode 4 decides that it's going to take its interpretation on a nice little known historical event. It's always nice when people take like real life events and then they have their own unique take, especially when it's one that hasn't been like overdone. So they do Jack the Ripper. That'll obscure chestnut.
I've never seen that in Victorian England.
I know, it's crazy. They visit the Undertaker, and then
wait, the wrestler?
Basically, the wrestler, but queer coded.
I see.
queer-coded and pedo-coded. It's uncomfortable how that's happening for multiple characters, those two combos. Don't like what the show's... it's a bad show. Nonetheless, Sebastian fucks the Undertaker off screen to get information. Yeah, that's what happens. That's... Maybe they don't fuck, but they definitely... The Undertaker is sexually pleased by Sebastian. Is that fair to say, Shaun?
I mean, that's fair to say about just about every character in the show, it seems.
It's true. Anyway, so they get some worthless info on Jack the Ripper because they're trying to solve the mystery. Because the Jack the Ripper is disgracing the Queen's proper land or some shit. I don't give a damn. They have no motivations. Their biggest motivation to do literally anything has been, I don't know, the Queen. Which is such a shitty motivation.
I mean, it's been, historically speaking, Rem, that is correct.
No. Why not have a sense of, like, just justice, right? Maybe CL gives a shit about that. Or it's like CL wants to be in control and people adding chaos to the mix interrupts that. But no, the fucking Queen! I feel like I'm missing something, but it's just bad.
I mean, the Queen has to be pretty great, right? Like,
yeah, for sure. So they have to, doing their investigation, they're like, it has to be this character we've never met before. How do we know? Off-screen investigation. Man, what a great mystery. Don't you love when all the investigating is done off-screen and the conclusion is that it's someone we've never seen before? Dope. So they go to this fancy party, but they need disguises. So CL has to dress up like a girl and his aunt is like, yeah, it's because I wanted a daughter, which is, it would be like decent foreshadowing if it wasn't such a stupid moment. Like they have moments, I will say, possibly the only, I don't know if I can say good, but like pretty decent thing the show does. It has some decent foreshadowing. Multiple moments it has, this being one of them, feel like just meaningless background moments, but are actually relevant. Now it'd be awesome, like, if they were also good, right? If they build up to things that I gave a shit about. Because it's like only foreshadowing, but never actual build up. So it'll be like, hey, we foreshadowed that. And I'm like, oh, okay. Was there anything else besides that one moment of foreshadowing? And it's like, no. Just this one comment we made. That was all the build up to this moment. That's very important. I'm like, oh, all right. Feels like there probably should have been a bit more. Nonetheless.
I will say on the note of him dressing like a girl, I mentioned in part one, the cosplay that was feckin' everywhere. It's CL dressed in a fancy ball gown.
Jesus Christ.
With a wig and all that. Yeah, like that is the cosplay that everybody and their mother wanted to do.
It's not even good.
Well, no.
It's not even interesting.
Well, no, but Reb, you gotta pair it with one, it's both cosplay, fancy ball gown, and the fact that this show was incredibly popular at that point. So that was the one that everybody went for. Yep, it was everywhere, and I saw some really pretty dresses because of that. I was like, oh wow, they worked really hard, and the cosplays turned out really cool. But yeah, that was the one thing from the show that weirdly everybody cosplayed.
Oof. Well, Lizzie is at the ball, and she notices cute girl CL and wants to talk to her, but that would interrupt everything. Almost like it was a dumb fucking plan. And so they avoid her. They end up getting CL to be able to talk to Lord Druitt, who is the presumed Jack the Ripper, right? Mm-hmm. They chat, and Lord Druitt is like, hey, baby, wanna fuck? And CL's like, oh, okay, ooh. And Druitt is like, you might be a bit young for it, but that's fine. Why does this show have so much pedo-baiting nonsense, Shaun?
Rem, if I knew the answer, I would
There's
tell
like
ya.
an absurd amount, and it is not okay. This show just keeps being like, and once again, it's not like an adult has had relations with a child in the show, but a lot of adults have implied relations with children in the show. Why? Why was this a necessary element to have so often? Jesus Christ. We're in episode 4 and it's happened, I think, at once an episode. Fuck, man.
Look, man, I don't know what to tell you. I wish I had an answer for you. It's just, look, man, I was always of the opinion that this show should not have been as popular as it was. But, you know, what do I know? Maybe I'm missing something.
Druid brings CL into his room, which he's, like, pre-smoked with some poison to make CL pass out, but Druid is immune to, even though it's, like, clouding the room, I guess. Don't think about it. Don't worry about it. CL wakes up in a cage on a stage in front of a bunch of people who want to purchase them or their organs. It doesn't matter. So you're like, aha, it's Jack the Ripper. As we will learn, Druid is not Jack the Ripper. This is just a completely separate serial killer / trafficker.
What a twist.
But why? Once again, oh no, this random character we just got introduced to, he's a bad guy, but he's not the bad guy. And anyway, Sebastian comes, saves the day, ends it all immediately, obviously, and that's it. But then Jack the Ripper strikes again. Dun dun dun. Why even have this episode?
Oh, so you could see some really dark, fucked up shit, Rem. You know, your favorite.
But it's not that fucked up. It's just dark in the aesthetic. It's not like the show is doing anything novel with it, right? The show doesn't make me uncomfortable besides all of the pedo bait that it indulges in. But other than that, it's just, we don't even get to see Sebastian do anything interesting when he's kicking ass. Usually how it'll be is Sebastian will arrive, and then you will cut to him having already finished the job.
Oh yeah, you gotta save the real action stuff for later in the season when you have the animation budget, Rem.
But Shaun, this means that it's an action show where it skips the action. It's a mystery where it skips the investigation entirely. What? It's a comedy that doesn't give a shit about its comedic relief. What the fuck is this show?
I mean, they get more complex mysteries down the line, Rem. I mean, after all, there are, 24 episodes in the first season and an additional.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we'll be getting some Odd Taxi level mystery solving.
Now, Rem, I would never lie to you and tell you that's gonna happen. that would be the most blatant lie I've ever told you if I said that. I'm just saying that there's more. There is more of this show. That is essentially all I'm saying.
All right, we get to episode 5. We open up. Jack the Ripper is off killing again. And CL is playing chess with his aunt, but now CL's like, there's no time for games, which feels directly counter to the only quality we've learned about CL, in which he's all about games. That's like the one personality trait I thought he had. That and loving the queen.
Yep.
He loves the queen, and I thought he loves games. But now, I guess the queen usurps his love of games, perhaps. That's his only personality trait. He's an edgy boy who loves the queen. Why? Who thought this was a good idea? Then he does an illegal checkmate on his opponent, who's like, what the fuck? That's not how chess is played. And CL, here's the stupid line of episode 5, is like, rules have no meaning in life. Which, yes, they fucking do? What does that even mean? Rules have no meaning. What are you talking about? What are you trying to say? Like, rules can be broken. Okay. Sure, bud. I suppose they can. Congratulations. I am in awe of the profundity.
But Rem, don't you think that makes him a cool, dark, and edgy character?
It's so damn dumb. Anyway, we gotta figure out who the real Jack the Ripper is, right? Fortunately, they know exactly where it's going to happen, and they immediately find the new Jack the Ripper, so that's figured out. Nice and easy. Because, who needs clues or literally any mysterious elements for a mystery? Just say, for a mystery, here's the ingredients you need according to this show, Shaun.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, who's responsible for this? Oh, they are. Boom. What a mystery. Did you enjoy it, Shaun? Was that intriguing to you?
I have to be honest. I don't think so, Rem.
Was that not a satisfying little puzzle to figure out?
No, I would have at least a second to figure out the I would have liked some bit more information than that, I think.
Oh, terrible news. All right, so who is Jack the Ripper? Well, they see a bloody body, a bloody corpse, right? They hear a scream, see a bloody corpse, and then they see a bloody Grell, the servant. Ooh, the incompetent servant, who shows up and he's bloodied. And Grell is like, I didn't do it. And then they're like, but you did. And Grell's like, yeah, I did. That's how fast it happens. Now, you guys might think, now wait a minute, you guys briefly mentioned Grell in episode 3. Have they been doing stuff in the background that's relevant? They had a foreshadowing where they made hedges into skulls. Other than that, no, they have not done shit. It's not like, oh shit, Grell? I would never have thought. It's just like, what the fuck? Okay. But wait, Grell's not alone. Grell is working with Ciel's aunt?
Yeah.
What a twist. Oh, you guys might be wondering, is that a twist? I guess.
I mean, the two red-colored characters working together, I mean, who would have expected that?
It writes itself. It turns out that Grell is actually a Grim Reaper, which has lore that it doesn't fucking matter. And instead of a scythe, they have a chainsaw. There's a meaningless fight where the aunt decides they can't actually kill their nephew, which, sure, okay. It's not... Here's what we know about the aunt. She's red. So that's been her character thus far. So man, it really hits home when she's struggling to kill her nephew. Man, really emotional. Cause thus far she's been so red, and now okay.
I mean, she's also a doctor, Rem.
Oh, she is a doctor. That was mentioned a couple times. Sure. Anyway, Grell is like, how dare you not kill him? So he kills the aunt. And then they're like, oh, now we need your life flashing before your eyes in a cinematic record flashback. That's what they call it. Their cinematic record. And now they're essentially like, shit, hey guys, here's all of the story we wrote for the aunt, even though we haven't mentioned any of it. Here it all is. Some sob story, it doesn't matter. It's really not that interesting. But we have that little flashback, right? And then Ciel is like, Sebastian, kill Grell. And then we end the episode.
Would you like to take a guess at what happens in the next episode?
You see, on one hand, it's like, well, obviously Sebastian kills Grell because, he's been given orders to and he cannot fail an order. On the other hand, they seem to really like Grell as a character.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, ooh, sexual ambiguity. What gender are they playing as now? They're here this guy's very original concept. So they're a male, but they identify in feminine ways. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that not character building? Was that not sufficient? They're also crazy. No, still not giving you literally anything to go off of? Cool. Shaun, this is a bad show.
Yeah, no. I didn't outright say it was a bad show when we got into it, Rem. But
after episode 1, I was like, all right, so the show is bad, but at least the Jumanji elements might be interesting. And then they let go of all of that.
Yeah.
They're like, fuck the games. We're here for the queen, baby. Which, once again, I don't know why they keep emphasizing that. Why it's so goddamn important. I don't know why they make a lot of decisions they do.
Yeah. Well, Reb, I mean, the Queen's very important, I'm sure. I mean, it's got to be the founding motivation for everybody in the Victorian England, I guess.
Do they at least have the Queen become an on-screen character?
Define on-screen.
Fucking cowards. I don't know if the show wants to be zany and wacky or dark, serious, and grounded. It does both poorly, but then it also confuses me with a poor blend of the two.
Yeah.
It's two terrible tastes, poorly blended into an even worse mess.
I mean, nah, that's not wrong. To answer your question, Rem, Queen Victoria, shocker, I know, makes her first appearance in episode 14.
Does she do anything interesting, or is she just sort of there?
I mean, she talks to CL a bit, gives him a mission or two.
Cool. I'm happy for him, because I'm sure, oh man, that episode, I'm sure he just fucking lights up. It's his goddamn dream, man. If there's one thing I know about CL, and I want to emphasize, there's only one thing I know about CL, that he fucking loves that queen.
Oh my goodness. So what you're saying is, overall, Rem, there was no reason this show should have been as popular as it was back in 08.
It's just there for the cosplays, my dude.
Oh god, you're so right. You're
That's literally the only reason it exists.
If I had a nickel for every CL in a dress I've seen, I'd have quite a few nickels, Rem. We could get you health insurance with those nickels.
Relevant to Discord jokes that are surprisingly relevant right now.
Yeah, because
we're recording late.
Yeah, well, with that in mind, I suppose final question is, Rem, do you have any guesses for the Mal score on this?
I hate that I'm going to say that it's like 8.1. No, I can't. I'm going to say 8.01.
8.01. You're going to knock it down that 900ths just to really...
I just... Oh, man.
Well, Rem...
I want to say lower, but I don't have faith.
Yeah, you think the weebs will once again betray you horribly?
Yeah.
Well, Rem, with about 571,000 ratings, Kuroshitsuji is sitting nice and prettily with a 7.67.
Okay. You know what? Way too high, obviously. But for weebs, that's actually, like, reasonable.
Oh, yeah. Like, because, Rem, for as many people that absolutely adored and loved this show back in the day, there were a very loud group of people who range from it's okay to this is a very bad show, which definitely drags down the score quite a bit.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, the only problem is there's a bunch of mindless fans out there who are saying that this is one of the greatest shows they've ever seen. Like, an example of the score breakdown on Mal is a whole fucking 14.6% of the ratings on this gave it a 10 out of 10. Which is bonkers. That is bonkers, Rem.
All right, I'm done. I'm done with Black Butler.
But Rem, we still got a whole season to go through, and the second season, which everybody who sent us an email is like, hey, show them the first season of Black Butler, but don't show them the second one because that one's awful.
What the fuck are you talking about? The second one is awful?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, because they make a bunch of anime-only decisions that everybody disagreed with, apparently. I don't know. I didn't watch the second season because I couldn't be arsed. But, yeah, no, so I guess the final question the final question I need to ask you, Rem, is there any chance you want to watch a little bit more Kuroshitsuji? A little more Black Butler?
No.
You don't want to see how that fight between Sebastian and Grell ends?
If I had to predict, it's either going to be a Sebastian pretty easy victory or nonsense to make it so they both can live. Or if Grell dies, he'll come back later. I don't think they're done with Grell.
Wow, it's almost like one of the most popular characters has a much higher staying power than, a main character's living relative.
They shouldn't. Not a good character, I really want to emphasize.
But Ren, they've got a chainsaw. Well, with that in mind, thank you all so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. If you enjoyed our meaningless ramblings on the inadequacies of old school anime, then please head on over to wherever you get your podcasts, whether that be Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, and leave us a review. They mean the world to us, and we do read every single one. And if that is still not enough for you, you can head on over to twitch.tv/animeoutofcontext, where you can get in the distinct pleasure or displeasure of watching myself Dylan and Remington play games very poorly, to be hopefully resumed once October is over, because yikes on trikes, we don't have much time these days. And if that is still not enough for you, you can head on over to patreon.com/animeoutofcontext, bring in access to all kinds of lovely bonus material, including having the opportunity to have your name read aloud on the podcast. So, Rem, who are we thinking this week? And dear God, we've got to go through it quick, otherwise we are going to fall apart.
Yeah, I'm going to try to speedrun one, because I'm dying too. We have to record 3 episodes this weekend. I'm going to die.
Yeah.
All right, so with Lover Magical Girls, bland bitch protagonist, y'all is great. Now we move on to Yandere Waifus, who, I don't know, insert something funny here. It's one of those weeks. It's one of those weeks.
Bless. We
start off with, if a Misaka falls in the forest and no one is there to hear her, she will still need a band-aid, says Misaka, and a chainsaw. Zombie Stomp 91 Soul Eater's life, Xanax, you thought you could escape from me, and Fanex, but Bonsai is this week. Are you coming? Sincerely, Yandere Waifu.
By the time this goes out,
it'll be too late. But I think our plan is one day.
Yeah. So sorry about that. If we were less shitty, we would have let you know in advance.
It's why you follow us on Twitter, because we will definitely post on Twitter what the fuck our plan is once we figure it out. You did it, Rem. You finally did it. You pronounced my username correctly. Now to see if you're consistent. Spicitis. Nah, fuck! Spicitis. There we go. Spicitis. Yandere Neko. Why Shaun? Whomstuff walk me home gently. Way to shell. Turtly enough for the Turtle Club. Trenton Farrell. Travis J. Humphrey. Totally God. The Susanator. The Big Bean. Take my cheeks. Struggle Bus Celia. Static Shock is my favorite anime. Stacy's mom. Silent Secondary. Shoujo Addict. Who doesn't need help. Just more manga to read and anime to watch. Shaun's hot, throbbing gumdrop buttons. Shaun still uses Internet Explorer. Sounds like he must like it nice and slow. Shaun punish Rem and make him watch Excel World. Shaun is incredibly lucky I don't know the P.O. box yet, unless, Rem, you can tell us where I can find it. DM us basically anywhere. DM Dylan especially, and he'll send it your way.
Provided you're responsible, Jesus Christ, we don't need things that'll get us in trouble in that P.O. box.
And then you can send all of your lewd drawings of Shaun. Salty Pretzels,
God.
Ross Palmer, Rhiannon Williams. Rem continues to crush my soul. Rem wants to be isekai in a world where MILF Hunter Shaun gives him white swords advice on hot MILF cards.
Oh, no.
Rem gave me depression.
No.
Reincarnated as a judge over Israel in the Bronze Age. The nightmares of that king I disemboweled still haunt me. How hyper specific.
That is some niche historical references right there, my guy.
But also one of the funniest stories of the Bible. So, you know. No Waifu, Nitsaira, Nick Harvey, Makeka 7 Hirto, Mexican Gone Freaks, Matt02 Max, Lizzie Anthea, Leave Denji and Pochita out of harm's way, Chad Cougar Bait, King Rich Rock, Casey Mosley, Cassidy, Just a Traveler, Jax, Jam Hands, In John Voice, please poo poo wee wee poo poo wee yum yum.
You're so broken you can't even do it right. You sound just like a small child.
I can't go into the back of my throat right now. It's too fucked up.
Don't worry, Rem, that's what you've got me for.
I'm Remington, I'm a Kappa, and I love to steal everyone's butt balls. I want to feast on your despair. Now give me a cool and interesting anime-related punt name, you Irish fuck.
Oh, man.
Quickly.
Yeah, you're gonna get the because you are. You are margarine
with the cheeks on maps, Butler. You are Sebastian. There you go. I want Rem doing Darling in the Franks for me. I'm Remington and just a high school girl with the power of God and bitchiness on my side. Hunter Davies. Hey, Yugs, where's the water in this hellhole? Glenn Michael Dolan. Fuck of Love Foxen Boy. Ferdy the Birdie. Farmer Weeb's Bad Pickup Line of the Week. Wanna Breed? Fantide. Extreme Cobra. Elite Knight. Duck. Drink chocolate milk to prevent wobbly bones, not a conspiracy. Dickite, Mimicin, Pikachu, and Triz, Pentaflor, Ethyl, Triflor, Phosphate, also known as FAP, and finally, Trans 1,4, Bis 4, Pride, Leth. Crumslets Bakery, now try our Crumb Guzzlers. Creed 13, Cheese Monkey, Cage in the House, Brockhard for Geodudes, Blood for the Blood God, Skulls for the Skull Throne, Big Blue Bear Boy, as my father once said, if you go to a strip club, don't stick in what you aren't willing to lose. And when that final moment came to pass, like Christ, I came riding on an ass. Elise Howard, AJ Tunnels, AJ Honey, A Days, and now we go to the Boy Wizard tier where you get the task you avoided by writing a Patreon name, Chris. You get planning your fiance's B-Day. And we do! So, Boy Wizard tier, everybody's gonna get a famous butler taking care of them. Yu Yu Hakusho is the best tournament arc anime. You get Alfred Pennyworth from Batman.
The most badass
warning, your
butlers.
799 episode. We don't have time for commentary,
I know,
Shaun.
sorry, I can't help it. I do the talking.
Warning, you're 799 episodes away. You get Mr. Belvedere. Vincent Calabrese. You get Benson Dubois or Dubois, depending on how the show pronounces it. The Great Buttball of Despair. You get Max from Heart to Heart. I don't know, it's old. Shane Ware, conduit of hedonistic, pansexual, polyamorous switches. You get Jeffrey Butler from Fresh Prince. Shaun, you are my idol, and just like you, I also like Boku no Pico.
Please.
He appreciates the inspiration. You get Charles Carson from Downton Abbey. Sandman, you get Joseph Anders from Dynasty. Pours a glass of whiskey and listens to anime out of context. Also, I'm moving into a new townhouse with my fiance. Congratulations. And for that, into that townhouse, you will get Niles from The Nanny. A lot of old ones here.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Numina, it's too goddamn long and I'm broken. It's the longest word in the English dictionary. You get Duckworth from DuckTales.
Ooh.
Who oddly, Duckworth, not a duck.
Yeah, you'd think.
Please watch Heal a Girl, cute slice of life about using music to heal people. Also, Rem is still a girl. You get Mr. Smithers from The Simpsons. My Afro ate my dog. You are going to get none other than... Oh, fuck, I hate that this is on the list. You get Sebastian from Black Butler.
Yeah, well, it's when you're looking for butlers, it's a list. Not an extensive one, but it is a list.
Mike got his Overlord review. You did. You get Domovoy Butler from Artemis Fowl. So many butlers named Butler.
Yep.
Miguel DeLeon, you get Lurch from the Addams Family. Massimo Martelli, you get Wadsworth from Clue. My Tawa says first 3 arcs of Bakemonogatari is just 8 episodes. You get Riff Raff from the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Pretty good.
Latino stopped eating from confusion about Shaun's relationships with body pillows. Relationship and relations. You get...
Oi.
You are going to get Edwin Jarvis, for Iron Man.
Yep.
Inuyasha's my favorite cryptid. You are going to get Dylan.
Are you implying that Dylan is our butler?
Sure, why not? Hey, Rem, do a backflip. You are going to get Jack from Hamish and Andy. Go ahead, call the cops. They won't silence the voices. They're getting louder. Please send help. You are going to get... I'm struggling here.
I can tell.
You are going to get Alfred from General Hospital. Crimson Reapers, just because of the size, you are going to get Alfred from Hudson Hawk.
God, I guess Alfred is just the butler name,
Beethoven 1201, you are going to get Alfredo from Angela Anaconda. Anime Girl.
Is this all real or are you just bullshitting?
No, this is real. This is real, homies. You are going to get Grovelly from Tiny Toon Adventures.
Jesus.
Animated Z wants to let everyone know that the last week of October is Asexual Awareness Week, and her first as Ace. Hell yeah. You are going to get Igor from Young Frankenstein.
I guess he's a butler.
I just have the wiki open now. All Father is at Anime Bonsai this weekend. Ooh. You are going to get Jenkins from Scooby-Doo. And Aaron Hegland, you are going to get none other than Peppermint Butler from Adventure Time. Now we move on to the Joey Wheeler tier, where Shaun Rollins will become Joey Wheeler, your butler, and he will tell you what task he is doing for you today that you need to get done.
Ah, Christ!
In a nice butlery Joey Wheeler voice.
This is gonna be a nightmare.
We start off with Remington is a weeb. Oh, my Joey is so bad right now.
To be fair, Rem, it wasn't great before. Alright, hey, Hughes. Oh, no. Yeah, I'm gonna go and press your pants. That's something butlers do, right?
Ooh, providing that extra service with your pants.
No,
you know
no,
what I mean.
like...
Alrighty.
No,
starting off sexy. Next up, we got Raftalia's My Anime Waifu has returned.
I'm going, yeah, the thing that you need to get done today, you're gonna...
Well, no, they're not gonna. You're gonna.
I'm gonna do. I see. First things I'm gonna do is take a nice 30-minute nap, prepare because my body is broken.
You should fire this butler. All right, next, and you can also provide them objects you think they might need. Providing them
yes.
Next up, we got pizza, cotton candy is my waifu.
I'm gonna provide you with various pizza flavored objects because it needs to be done. And
very hit or miss, I must say.
Yeah, very hit or miss.
Next up, we got magic ice ball.
You're going to have a lovely cup of absinthe.
Starting the day strong. Next up, we got I love you more than my jar of fingers and cold cum.
I'm going to set up that psychiatric appointment we were talking about. Holy shit.
Genuinely fair. You know what? No commentary needed.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Demon Ray 13.
Yeah. Let's see. We're gonna go on that walk we keep saying we're gonna go on, but we never actually do.
we all have things like that. Next up, we got my dear old mom.
On the docket for you, we're going to we're gonna go gonna get you some boba, some nice boba. That's hip.
It was hip until you mentioned how hip it was.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Chelsea Nussbaum.
Man, the task to take care of today is gonna finally dust off that game that's been sitting in the Steam library for ages and give it a go.
You know, the one you wanted to buy, and you keep mentioning it, you keep looking at it, and you're like, am I gonna play it today? And you keep saying no, you keep deciding against it. Next up, we got Blood Cell, back to not being the white one. Fuck those guys, they're way too aggressive.
That's pretty good. The task for today is gonna be, you know what? Gonna get you a nice. I'm gonna look up some of those ramen hacks and make you a nice ramen-based meal without actually making actual ramen because that takes a lot of work.
Last but not least, going above and beyond, we got none other than Dylan Hayden.
Dylan Hayden, I'm going to watch a bunch of bad anime and tell you how they are so you don't have to waste your time.
Truly the most necessary service one could possibly provide.
Also the most meta one.
If you want to reach out, whether it's for a comment, question, feedback, or recommendation, or hey, if you want to figure out our P.O. box to send lewd images of Shaun, you can tweet us at AnimeConPod on Twitter or send an email over onto animeoutofcontext@gmail.com.
Rem, I'm so terrified there are going to be more Rule 63 versions of me. Like, Rem, you don't understand. I don't
as long
know.
as it's of Shaun, I approve.
Do you just want to have a collection of big-tittied Shaun waifus?
No, but I think that's what you need for your self-esteem.
I won't argue that my self-esteem is in the toilet, Rem, but I don't know if looking at a version of myself with massive badonga-dongas
I think it's worth a shot.
I think it's worth a shot.
Sort of like a dream board.
Oh, dear God. Well, here's hoping not many artists listen to us. With that in mind, thank you all so much for joining us. We love and appreciate you very, very much. And as always, don't fuck your sister.